Hey everybody, welcome back to SmartTake, the #1 monthly series for learning the top most essential HubSpot product updates. I'm Paul Schmidt, VP of Marketing here at SmartBug, and if you only have 30 minutes to stay current with HubSpot's incredible speed of innovation, you're in the right spot. Our goal each month is to just distill down the five most impactful updates each month, so you can tell your boss what changes you're going to make this month to drive more revenue or improve the customer experience. So joining me again this month is Brian Wettach, HubSpot's Strategic Partnership Development Manager. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Paul. I'm excited to be here, and I even have a difficult time keeping current with all of HubSpot's updates. So I love the fact that I get the chance to join you monthly on these because it gives me an opportunity to dig in and try and distill what I think is most important for the audience here. So looking forward to diving in with you.
Awesome. Yeah, there's so much innovation happening. So yeah, let's jump in with update #1, Brian. Brian's going to take us through the first couple of updates here.
So looking at update #1 here, it's kind of two updates in one, and I think it's really important that folks know it's pretty recent. On June 2nd, HubSpot made a pretty significant change to Customer Agent being one of the many agents in HubSpot's kind of quiver at this point, and paired that with the launch of HubSpot Credits. So that's going to be update 1 and update 2. So let's start with update 1, speaking specifically about Customer Agent. So Customer Agent, and the way that HubSpot is positioning this and has built the tool, is to be this ultimate 24/7 AI-powered business concierge. What we've known Customer Agent to be to date has been really all around customer support, being able to field inquiries, answer questions, disposition or deflect tickets, and make sure that resolution rates are really high. And frankly, the results have been really, really strong. And that's part of the reason why we're really elevating the value and the impact of Customer Agent in terms of how it's accessed. So what we've done here, HubSpot has done, is it's moved Customer Agent from a Service Hub specific feature into something that's platform wide. So any customer with any pro or enterprise hub can now get access to Customer Agent. And so that's pretty impactful, because what that means is that it's moving really beyond just the use case of customer support and into marketing, sales, and then again, customer service use cases. And frankly, like, why? Why does it matter? Customer expectations are rising a ton. You probably feel this. Customers are expecting instant personalized responses at any hour of the day, and teams are being expected to answer all of that with great customer service without adding headcount. And so to do so, they're being stretched thin. So that's where AI can come in and help with that lift. And for the marketing use case, folks are putting on the front page of their website and they're driving engagement with marketing content or answering visitor questions that come on the front page. It's not just existing customers asking support questions. For sales use cases, people are asking about pricing, and the Customer Agent, if it's trained on the appropriate content, can answer those. And that's the big change this month with the agents, is that Customer Agent specifically is the only agent right now where HubSpot has removed it from a product hub and made it available for all hubs. That's kind of the core bit here. The next is credits. Okay, so how does Customer Agent get powered is really the next question. So HubSpot Credits is the evolution of the flexible usage-based pricing model that customers can use to pay as they grow. So previously, we had Breeze Intelligence Credits that was on this type of model. You might know it from ZoomInfo, or you might know it from something like Clay, where you pay for an enrichment with a credit. Customer Agent is now activated and empowered by HubSpot Credits, and those Breeze Intelligence Credits that you may have already, you may know about, are all bundled in. So it's just one product SKU, one pricing model. A couple important things to know is you can try this for free. So existing customers who are on the seats pricing model or net new customers will get included credit packs. So if you're at Pro, you get 3,000. If you're at Enterprise, you get 5,000. So you can start to test out some of these Customer Agent or Breeze Intelligence features for free. Like, that's a sneaky, awesome give that HubSpot's bundled into this. So once you've hit that limit, then you can purchase additional credit packs. But that's an important note and something that I think customers should really think about taking advantage of to start to mess around with it. Credits reset on a monthly basis, and different features consume different amounts of credits. So for example, a conversation is 100 credits, which is equivalent to $1. An enrichment for Breeze Intelligence is 10 credits, so that's equivalent to 10 cents. So those are a couple of core pieces of customer agent, and then how to actually use it and power it with credits.
Yeah, Brian, and I would just say in here, I think this is really exciting that in this credit-based model, historically, you'd have to buy these like packs of credits in order to even be able to test this kind of stuff out. And I think what the big change is now is whether all customers now are able to just test out the functionality, and they're able to test out enrichment functionality as well as agentic customer agent type of functionality. And I think like for so many folks that have like never used this type of functionality, like you need like some starter, some sample credit to be able to see if this stuff even works for you. So I think this is one of the big updates that HubSpot's making, and that, this one type of credit can be used in a lot of different types of functions.
I think it's a pretty incredible give from the HubSpot standpoint, and something that, frankly, I'm kind of proud of. And I think that the other bit is just to give folks a sense, like 30 tickets resolved in a month or 30 conversations. Like how long does a conversation take a support agent? And that's just, given to you for free. If we're thinking about it that way, or 300 enrichments. So that's another big one. I want to give some time to the customer agent because I think it's a pretty important feature and tool set. And just a quick review of some of the things that customer agent can do for folks who maybe haven't turned that on yet. So what I'm going to do is talk through 3 updates that were included this month, but kind of roll it back to, all right, how do you even set up customer agent if you haven't done it already? And if you haven't, I'd highly recommend doing it because it can scale value really without any lift. And ultimately, I think there's a lot more that customers can do with this. So 3 key updates to customer agent specifically that is now available to everybody, pro and enterprise hubs, is access to brand voice. So sometimes folks are concerned, okay, cool, we can train an agent on our content, but will it sound like us? How do we actually kind of toggle what it's supposed to sound like? If you've done the work to really create a strong brand identity and brand voice inside of your AI tools in HubSpot, like your content agent and all of those things that feed off your brand voice, now that can apply to customer agent. So that's a really awesome update to make sure that you feel good about this AI tool representing your business. The second update within this group, Paul, if you kick to the next one, is the ability to assign customer agent to email. And so it's not just live chat. So you can actually take over an email inbox or apply it to certain types of email messages that are coming in. So it can respond back and forth with a customer on those inquiries, on a support ticket, on a support inquiry, without requiring them to engage with you just on the live chat. And then the last one is the ability to add the customer agent to rule-based chat flows. So some folks might get concerned, okay, cool, I let this AI agent loose on my website, but what if a bunch of people just come to my website and ask silly questions and I'm spending $1 for each conversation? Or, okay, I only really want to use it for certain types of use cases. We haven't trained it on all of the material yet. So you can actually create a chat flow that asks a bunch of qualifying questions, a rule-based chat flow. And if someone hits qualification level, it could either kick to a human or you could kick it to the customer agent. So giving greater control over how someone can even get access to that customer agent, I think is something that people really appreciate. So I want to give you a quick roll back to, all right, how do we actually use this thing? I'm going to be punchy with this because we only have 30 minutes and Paul has some awesome updates to go through. So I just want to show you quickly. You can access customer agent. It'll show up your left-hand sidebar. Go into configuration and you can give it a name. You can give it a role, and you can even use your brand voice. One of the big things is that people have concerns about, I think, is handoffs. Okay, what if the customer agent isn't able to answer the question? Or what if someone who's interacting with it, whether it be email or chat, wants to speak to a human or has a question that you don't want the agent answering? You can actually set triggers. So, hey, if someone types in, I want to talk to a human, that will automatically kick it and be a trigger for you to reassign. What is your pricing? That might not be something you want the AI to take over. You want to have a more custom conversation that can kick it to a human. So configuration and assignments are key. The next is what you train it on. So when this launched originally, it was trained on your knowledge base, but now you can put in all of your website pages, landing pages, blogs that you've written, or even internal documentation, PDFs, and files. The agent will consume all of that and then craft its responses based on what you've trained it on. Performance, I think, is really important to understand, all right, how many conversations are being answered and resolved. HubSpot's resolution rates for customer agents performance is like 56% of conversations are resolved without human interaction amongst the customers who are using it. And some are seeing even 90% resolution rates. So you can expect that a lot of your conversation volume can be handled. But what about those things that can't be handled? the system will automatically recognize what questions the customer agent couldn't answer, and it will surface them to you so that you can then write an article or write a short answer response or an FAQ that it can then be trained on. So it can answer all of this stuff and also surface to you, hey, how can I improve this over time? And then lastly, assignment, you can assign it to those chat-based workflows. One last thing I want to hit on is actions. So this is something really powerful for those who have external systems who, the example here I just want to shout out is order status. Someone comes to a live chat and says, hey, what's the status of my order? All that information might not live in HubSpot. That might live over in some external ERP or some shipping tool. So you can actually build API custom coded actions that will call when someone asks a trigger, where's my order, track my package, can you tell me the status of my order, for example. And the setup of this, leave it up to a developer. This is not me. This might be Paul here, but you can configure the API to post or get and do all this other technical stuff. But this is something that I think is worth noting, that the customer agent can take actions on your behalf with external systems, not just inside of HubSpot. So I'm going to wrap here on my share bit, but thanks for giving me the floor. I really think the customer agent can be hyper valuable for folks across marketing and sales, not just support. And I want to make sure that folks feel confident to dive in and turn this thing on today.
Yeah, I love that last one, Brian, of some of the actions that you can take within customer agent. I would encourage you for HubSpot customers out there that are watching this to be thinking about, what are some really common questions that your support team, your customer service team gets over and over and over and over. And it takes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to look something up and then respond and everything like that. And so I think by, just being able to include that within customer agent, it's going to take that lift and that burden off your support team or service team or whoever has to answer those types of things. And so really excited about that one. And yeah, we can't wait to see the types of innovation that people use in the types of actions that people bake with inside there. So let's jump to update number 3. If we can jump back to the slide deck here, and we'll talk through the deep research connector for ChatGPT. This was just announced this last week. HubSpot announced the connector between HubSpot and ChatGPT. And so for those of you that are getting into AI, really what this does is it allows you to query data from inside of your CRM into ChatGPT. Now, a couple of things to note. First off, in order to be able to include data inside of your HubSpot data into ChatGPT, you need to first off a paid version of ChatGPT. So this is not going to work with a free version. You need a Teams version, enterprise version, something like that. It's not super cost prohibitive, but it's how the functionality works. And as part of that, you'll see inside the HubSpot documentation that ChatGPT is not training off of the CRM data that you're including within that. So there's a whole bunch of information that they will include within the links. But this is one of the new updates that I think we're just in the first innings of seeing how HubSpot can be used with other third-party LLMs and AI tools. And so really, I think some primary use cases that I think about for this is, for this type of functionality gives you essentially like a PhD level analyst on your team that you've never had before. And so if you can think about, the types of questions that your sales team has, your marketing team has, if you're trying to, hey, I want to pull a list of these types of contacts in my database that, were created over a year ago, but are now starting to show some intent, like who you're trying to create these micro segments like this is the kind of stuff that ChatGPT is really great, that it can go in, query your HubSpot data and pull that in there. So there's so many different kinds of use cases as you can think of with ChatGPT and HubSpot. This is a really powerful connector, and they're just starting to innovate on this. So I'm really excited about that. The next slide is really about a HubSpot MCP server. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick summary of what we're talking about here. So in order for ChatGPT and HubSpot to be connected, this is sort of like the foundational element of this. And to simplify this update, really this update provides the framework for how AI agents that are built with third-party LLMs like OpenAI or Plot or Cursor, and how those can connect to your third-party data, like in HubSpot. So really, that's what this innovation is right inside of here. You won't be quizzed on this. You don't need to memorize everything about this, but really the short of this is that it's going to allow HubSpot data to be used in places outside of HubSpot. So this is the real power of this. And so you can see right here, this query on the right side right here, that's just like an example query of when HubSpot's connected into Claude and like what that type of query would look like. There's many more use cases for this, but that's just a little highlight. Next, we're going to jump into a screen share from Brian. This is just a quick one on CRM index page and property creation.
All right, cool. Folks who are active HubSpot users may have already seen this. It took me, I don't know when this was rolled out, a couple weeks ago. It took me until now to really see it. It's awesome. All right, so you're in your classic index page. It could be a deal view, it could be contacts, etc. Sometimes you have to go up. You got to go to edit columns. You got to do that whole toggle. You don't have to do that anymore. Go, boom, add a column. These are contacts. I'm going to do job title. Okay, I can add that column. Just a nice little user-friendly update. The other is inline editing. So I can add in VP of sales and not have to open up that contact record to go edit that property. I can go over and I can see my lead status and I can toggle that. So just wanted to highlight that inside these index pages, you can edit inline and add and remove columns to format this without having to pop out to some other function. So wanted to highlight that, something I really love, thought other people might appreciate too.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so let's jump to example or update number 4 back in our slides. And we're going to talk about more Marketing Hub and automation related updates. And so first off is the automation overview page. For those of you that build out workflows inside of HubSpot for marketing, sales, service use cases, what this does is it's like a homepage for all of your automation. I find this really helpful for marketers that historically have built up many pieces of automation over time and now need a centralized place to like understand like what is there. Historically, in my time working with clients, there were so many times where client would have 50 or 100 different workflows set up and they would want an audit of what this is. And the only way to do that historically was like going in and exporting your 200 workflows and then going in one by one. And it became a big spreadsheet project. And really what this automation overview page is going to be a home base for all of your automation. It's going to tell you the number of workflows that you have going on. It's going to tell you the number of workflows that have issues. You can even see in the screenshot right here, there's even an AI prompt area where it's going to allow you to go in and use a prompt to go and help you start building this type of to build any kind of workflow you want. So I think your teams are really going to like this. So yeah, this is the homepage for automation. Next, I'm going to just do a quick screen share of the new enroll records in workflows from a CRM card. I love this update a lot. And what this essentially does is I'm going to you can see inside of a contact record, this is inside of like a sample senior living type of organization. And essentially what this does is there's a new card, it's called Enroll in Workflow. And why this is really useful is if you think about the types of automation that your sales team has to do, maybe it's after the initial call with a prospect, you need to send out a packet or a brochure or some sort of documents, or you need to take a series of steps after you've talked with a prospect. You can just add a button here right inside of a record, whether it's a contact record or a company record. And then instead of having to enroll in another screen, it's just right within the record itself. So this is really a usability play, if anything. This type of automation that I built out was a lead summarization type of action. And really what this type of what this did was when I clicked this button, it then summarized the entire contact record of this type of contact. So it was so simple. I just click the button and now I'm back on track with this. So that's a quick update on the enroll in workflow. You can use any kind of workflow in here, and you can use it on the contact, company, deal, ticket types of records.
So Paul, are you telling me you have AI inside of that workflow that came back on that contact record and summarized it?
Yeah, exactly. So inside of, I think we talked about this update last month, but there's a new action inside of HubSpot workflows where you can pull in a Breeze, ask Breeze function and put in a prompt and then have it do a summarization of anything you need or have it do anything you're asking for.
Chef's kiss, man.
So let's jump back into the deck here, and we'll do a last update on collaboration with Breeze Copilot. So yes, it's AI related, but it's very much workflows related. So what this workflow or what this specific update is for is to allow you to essentially use Copilot and use a conversational prompt to have Breeze help you build the workflow. So for example, if you have new folks in your team who've never used workflows in the past, like it can be a little bit of a learning curve to go in there and try to learn workflows. So what you can do is essentially you can go into Copilot, give it a prompt, say, hey, I need you to build a workflow. And every time there's a new company created in my database that's from this specific region, then assign it to the specific sales team or the specific rep, for example. And you can just type that right in, and Copilot goes in and builds the workflow for you. So for those of you that like maybe you're trying to get a team member up to speed and they don't really know how to use workflows yet, like this is a great way to just go in there, get it started on there, and have them help you start building some of these workflows out. So, again, this is just this is in beta right now, but it's definitely powerful, and it's something that you should be checking out if you're in charge of automation on your team.
I'm going to jump in real quick. I just saw Shannon asked, is Breeze Copilot an add-on? No, Breeze Copilot is built in your portal, any portal. It's up in the top right. You just go on that little star icon, and that's your own kind of personal assistant, right? It help work with you, whereas agents kind of work for you. So just wanted to call out that answer to that question. And I just love this Copilot in workflows. I was messing around with Replit. I was trying to figure out how to code. I don't know any of this stuff, like this whole concept of vibe coding, being able to use natural language in order to produce a pretty technical product. That's what I'm thinking about here. This is vibe automation inside of HubSpot. And I think this is a huge step for folks who don't know all of the action buttons to be able to get their thoughts out and to be able to let AI take over and build stuff for you inside HubSpot.
Yeah, that's a great addition, Brian. And I'll answer another question to Shannon from in the chat. In terms of like Copilot and some of the AI functionality, really how you can think about this is like the pricing models is going to be based on credits now, and in terms of like how many different actions you can kind of run. We'll send out the help doc after this, but there's based on, if you're using customer agent, for example, like that costs a certain number of credits. And so you buy credits beyond the initial ones that you're given as part of your subscription. So like a customer agent type of action, like that is going to cost a certain number of credits. And that's different from if you're doing enriching a contact company record, that's a different amount of credits. So I agree with you. It's a little bit confusing on this. We'll send out the help doc after this, and this credit model just got released, so we're still working through best ways to explain some of this to our clients and prospects. But it's essentially, you can think about this as more credits, and like you get access to most agents inside of here, but it's that each one has different sort of credit models part of it. So, all right, we are gearing almost to the end here. Let's jump to update number 5. Update number 5 is in Content Hub. Content Hub, this is a really exciting update. AI-powered video marketing platform. So, as most of you know, how impactful video can be for building awareness and for using it even for mid-funnel and deep funnel use cases. HubSpot has just launched a lot of new functionality within being able to update and edit videos inside of HubSpot. Historically, you could add videos in HubSpot, host your videos inside of HubSpot. There wasn't really any ability to do much with it other than that. So I'm just going to do a quick screen share, show you how this works inside of here. And let's see, we're going to jump to this screen right here and show you how this video marketing functionality works. So inside of your portal, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your files area, and then you're going to import your video that you have inside here. You can click on actions and then remix into other content. From here, what that's going to do is it's going to pull you into the content remix tool, and it's going to spin up video clips for you that you can go in and pull into your editor. So you can click on any one of these video clips, and it's going to suggest these clips based on the AI is going to look at your content and suggest interesting segments of your video are automatically for you. And so then what you can do from here is, like, once you're in the video editor, it pulls you into the type of experience where you can see the script and the transcript from you from there, and then you can go in and trim it. And so you can pull in the copy that you like from that. You could just trim that specific section, trim it out, or you could just make a clip from that section. You could come in, you can change from landscape to portrait to square view, depending on what platform you're going to be sharing this on. And then once you're all happy with that, there's a bunch of more functionality too, but we're running out of time. So once you're happy with that, it's going to take you to this screen. It uses AI to give you video title, the keywords from that, an SEO description, chapters, everything like that. From here, you can go in and publish straight to social. Or you could just save it and then export it, pull it into a different platform as needed. Just want to give you a preview from there. HubSpot's doing a lot of innovation on this side of things. Really excited about just to see what y'all will do with the new video marketing functionality inside of HubSpot.
I think that's super cool. So the folks at home don't have to be TikTok influencers or like hyper skilled with video editing. And the other thing is, if you're putting a lot of effort into creating some piece of video content, being able to splice that up and then reuse little segments that are more clickable and more consumable across your social channels is so important. So this tool built into your Content Hub can get way more mileage out of that effort you've put in, and also save you time and effort in terms of scrolling through. I remember using iMovie back in the day, trying to find that exact clip, and it's a real pain in the butt. Now you can do it just with that text editor, and it brings the video to life. So that's awesome. Thanks, Paul.
Love that. Yeah. And Lindsay, your question, in terms of like adding those to one-to-one emails, things like that, you can then save that specific video if you wanted to send a one-to-one. I think most use cases are going to be for marketers who want to share this video on their website or on social or different places like that. You could do it in one-to-one emails, but there's probably other one-to-one video tools that they're probably going to serve you a little bit better for that type of use case. All right. We have almost hit the finish line here. So for those of you that came today, you've already signed up. You're already set. You don't need to sign up again. You're going to be invited to the future episodes of SmartTake. We'll be sending you also some exclusive content about HubSpot's Content Assistant. So we'll share with you in the email right after this, and we'll also share a demo of how some of those credits work, how all that functionality works, and being able to leverage the AI and enrichment tool. It's coming to your inbox shortly. And that is going to be it. Next month, I hope you will join us again, July 18th, for the June updates. Brian, thank you so much for joining today's SmartTake. Thanks everybody for joining, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Paul. Have a great month.
Thank you for watching.